All right. Hang on a second here. We'll get started in just a sec. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and welcome to MindBody TV. Today, we're going to talk about how sensuality heals your body, how your physical body responds to your willingness to feel and sense what you're feeling, to feel and sense into what's happening right now, whatever experience you're having, or feel and sense into like energy you've carried from the past, or even energy you're projecting onto your future, whatever your mind is doing, to be willing to just be present to it and be sensual and connect and have that sensory experience can move a lot of energy through your body that allows healing. Now, we are broadcasting both in YouTube live and in the MindBody community and Facebook. And I want to welcome everyone back because we took the summer off from MindBody TV, and now we're back, and I'll be broadcasting every week on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain with a different topic related to mind-body healing, related to the fact that you are not just a physical body, you are a vibrational being. You're having a physical experience. And when we connect to that aspect of us that is infinite, that aspect of us that is pure energy, it is really, really easy and usually really quick that the physical body can shift. Physical disease or illness, and a lot of obscure symptoms many people have been having: depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue syndrome, Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr, like illnesses that don't seem to go away, and things that are affecting the digestive system, the immune system, the nervous system, that don't have a lot of clear answers in conventional medicine. I am a conventionally trained physician. I was board certified in ER, emergency room medicine, and I've really changed my life and changed my practice over the last decade to focus in on the body's ability to heal itself. I'm also an osteopathic physician, which is just a lot more of how the body heals itself, how the mind and body are connected. And so I've brought that into my practice of medicine and my understanding of healing to assist many people from a lot of obscure chronic illness and chronic pain syndromes when nothing else has helped. So I'd love some comments in YouTube. I don't see, it looks like it's working. But I want to welcome everyone in YouTube as well as in Facebook and the MindBody community, as always. And hello to everyone who is listening in the recording. So what is this really all about? Your ability to sense and feel what's happening in your body is energy. It's actually shifts your frequency. A lot of us have been raised in a society that teaches us to suppress what we feel, teaches us to kind of be a talking head, like we're living from here up. It's like everything beneath that gets suppressed, and we're just in the mind and like what we think, what we've been told, and doing the right thing and not doing the wrong thing, or being positive and not being negative. And there are all these programs running the show, and then we suppress what's really happening. We suppress our body's wisdom, we suppress our inner knowing, we suppress our connection with the divine aspect of ourselves, our connection with the wisdom in our body. And this is not serving us, because not only does it change all of our choices, what we choose to do, what we say, what relationships we're in, how we interact in those relationships, how we show up at work, it also shifts what's happening in our physical body. And so if you've had pain or illness or just frustrations in life that are, you're not living in your full vitality, it is so worth making this shift and being willing to be more fully sensual, so that you can allow these physical things to immediately shift, and you can open up to a whole new world of guidance and possibility to let your life be created in abundance. So welcome everyone live. Courtney says, hello, I'm so excited to be here live. Thanks for all that you do. You've gotten me through so much, and I'm very grateful for you. Thanks. I'd love to hear more about that. Met Louise, hi from Denmark. MK, hi from Norway. Awesome. Kim says, hi from Kentucky. Amy, good morning. I'm so happy to see you again. Thank you. Roma, so awesome to hear from your wisdom. Thanks for doing this. Awesome. I love doing this. All right, so let's dive into what this is really about. And many of you may have seen some of the postings that I've shared about my practice of dance, which is sensual movement. And I made the program called Liquid Dance to share this with others. I did just post in the MindBody community a couple of examples of that, what that sensual movement looks like. Now, when I do this, it's, this has really helped me to get out of my head, where there were a lot of self-sabotaging programs going on and a lot of like suppression of who I really am. And so I was living this life, but like things weren't going really well. My relationships were not working out, and there was a lot of like disappointment and heartbreak. My work was not really moving forward. I had this awareness of what I wanted to be doing, but I was in the ER, kind of like living this life as an ER doctor. And I'm like, how do I even tap into something bigger? And just, it was like a suppression. I didn't feel fully alive or enjoy, and I knew I could be having that. And after doing my residency training, where it was so much about being in the head and so much about suppressing what you feel, because if you're tired or if you're lonely or if you're hungry or like anything that's going on, it's like, no, just keep going, just keep going. Stuff that, we'll get to that later. But I never really did get to that later. And so there were all these stored incompletions, incomplete experiences where I hadn't really met myself fully emotionally. And just old ideas about myself or how I should be or what I should be doing or how things could work for me that were running the show. And after all of that, I realized I forgot how to dance. Hi, Andy Grant. So good to see you. I was my whole life a dancer, and it was really fun for me. And, you know, I had this like kind of talent, but it wasn't, totally in flow. And after all these years of medical school and residency and feeling like I'd really been through a war, I literally couldn't get my body to move. It'd be like I'm standing there listening to the music and I'm like awkwardly trying to move my body and figure out, how do I do this? Because I was so in my head. And after some deep soul searching and an awesome semester with a woman named Regina Tomashauer, I got in my body. I got out of my head and into my heart, into my pelvis, into my core, into my womb, and let that become alive. And I'm still amazed how many women I work with privately, where I'll assist them in the very beginning and just bringing their energy into their body. Like, just take a few deep breaths and bring your awareness all the way down to your heart, all the way down to your core, all the way down to your pelvis, and be willing to feel what's happening there. It was amazing to me. First of all, how I'd immediately feel their energy expand, but how many of them were like, whoa, I can't do that. It's not okay. It's not safe. I don't feel comfortable. It's too scary. It's bringing up too much. Or even just this idea like, ooh, should I really do that? So I began to see this pattern of how much we've really suppressed being willing to sense and feel what's happening in the body. And so after I learned to just be more willing to be sensual, to feel my body and to move in the way that felt yummy and delicious, and to express energy without my mind having to understand, like, this is what I should do, this is how it should look. No, this just was completely mindless. And in the video that I shared, and I'll share it on YouTube too, we just have to change the music first. It's like this really vulnerable space for me, because I'm not in my mind. I'm not in a calculation of, oh, does this look okay? Or, oh, is this going to come out right? It's a completely fluid flow that's uninhibited. And that was always really beautiful for me when I'd meet these spaces of grief or despair or fear, to just let that energy move, dance it out, move it out, and then I'm in my body. I feel confident. I feel alive. I feel whole. But then to go and let someone actually observe that, like, it was really hard. And when I did the first video, the one that I shared in the MindBody community yesterday, I literally couldn't even talk to my husband. I'm like, just video. hit record and go. And he's like, well, what about this? And what about the lighting? And what about wanting me to move those things around? I'm like, no. I don't want to think about this. Like, let's just do it. And I was like really irritable because it was so scary for me and so vulnerable for me. And he's like, okay, whatever you need. But it was such a big deal to let myself be seen in what would come through without the filter of the mind. But lo and behold, it ends up being the most cathartic, powerful thing that we can possibly do. And more as I've gone years living my life, it's a matter of me allowing that authentic inner divine creatrix to be the thing that comes through and gets expressed, to be the thing that comes through and is what I'm speaking or sharing or choosing, instead of living from the mind. So doing this sensual movement, connecting with my sensuality and letting myself move fluidly has really accessed me to that more and more and more. All right, so Katrin says, hi from Sweden. Courtney, it was so beautiful. Yeah, a lot of people said when they saw it, I was moved to tears and I felt so much energy move through my body when they saw the dancing. It was really encouraging me the first time I shared those videos because it was in a private group, the Embracing Health program, and the Be the Medicine program too. And my private clients who knew me really well just shared such powerful things of what happened when they watched it. And that's really the power of sensuality. If you're willing to be in your sensuality and let whatever comes through come through, it lights up the world. And who knows what it looks like, but if you can practice into it, and that's what that guided liquid dance program is really about. Like, here's some suggestions of how your body can move. Here's some ways to sense into that and feel that more deeply. And then, let it be unleashed. Here's how to unleash that. But any of us can, you don't even have to do a program, can begin to learn this in subtle ways. So to begin, let me just check on our YouTube here. I've got, oops, sorry. All right, I've got some comments there. I can see them coming in. To begin to, just like we did a few minutes ago, bring your sensing, your awareness from your head down through your neck. Take a big breath. Feel your chest, feel your heart. Bring your awareness to the space around your heart. This changes what's happening in the brain, and it actually allows you to receive different sensory information. And then bring your awareness, your attention from your heart all the way down to your core, all the way down to your pelvis. And you can even put a hand right on your belly and right on your pelvis, right on your pubic bone. Grab your genitals. It's your body. Be willing to touch it. Be willing to caress it. Be willing to be gentle and loving with yourself, because that's really what allows the release of energy. And then be willing to sense all the way down to your core. What am I feeling in this area of the body? And I'd love to hear. So definitely type in the comments, what are you feeling? What's coming up? Randy sends a big heart. Thank you. Tiffany says, thank you for your bravery, sharing this deep connection with yourself for us to witness. I danced this morning and so much moved through. That is awesome. Any of us can do this, and you'll begin when you do it, like put your favorite music on and begin to just move, but start with this exercise of like feeling all the way down to your body and then letting yourself move from that place for like what feels yummy to me, what feels smooth to me, what feels fluid for me. For me, tapping to fluidity, which Sylvie Olivier, one of my mentors, helped me kind of connect with the essence of that fluidity. She told me that's really your main way of connecting with the infinite self, with the deeper aspect of yourself. When I connect with that, I'll immediately feel so much. And then I can feel the music. I can feel the space beyond my body. And just that alone allows energy to shift, because you're no longer holding the space of tension, of like holding it all in, so that it tenses up your physical body and doesn't let energy move. When energy doesn't move through the physical body, disease always develops. And it may be like those early stages where you're like, got a little tension. And it's like, don't wait for it to show up as a fulminant disease. It will, but downstream of that, you can actually just, okay, do a little check-in and notice, am I feeling my body? Am I present to my body? Am I sensing what's happening in me right now? Angel says, will you share your liquid dance with us, Kim? Yes, yes, yes. So the program is drkimd.com/dance. And there are 2 videos that I just put in the MindBody community that you can look at where I've just completely unleashed and let movement come through. I'm feeling the music, and both of them are songs that I really love. But you can do it with anything. And sometimes I'll just do it like, I'll just be at my desk and let myself feel fluid and let the energy move and just feel like what feels good to me, what feels good to my body, and let my body just kind of have it. So movement can be really, really cathartic and therapeutic. But the point I really wanted to share is that just your sensing what's happening in your body is powerfully releasing. It allows energy that you've been holding to kind of come in. So instead of your mind just registering your thoughts and beliefs and ideas, or even sometimes people register their emotions, to really receive all of it completely willingly. And that takes relaxing the body, shake it out a little, relaxing the body, breathing fully. So a lot of times we're just breathing up here into the upper chest. And it's like, okay, I'm doing good, I'm breathing. And we don't want to really breathe because we don't really want to feel everything we're feeling. So if we can embrace compassion for ourselves, compassion for our pain, we will have more space to feel what we're really feeling, to make space for our wounded self, to make space for where I've felt afraid, to make space for where I felt not enough and I felt inadequate, to make space for where I bought into the idea that I'm not good enough or I have to do all these things for my life to work out. That will never feel fluid. It will always feel constricted. And so would I be willing to relax my body and feel everything I feel? Well, you've got to have a lot of compassion in order to welcome that in, because sometimes it's a lot, especially if you're an empath. There is something we'll be doing to go much deeper into this. Hello, Bianca. And Jess, thank you for posting the link for Liquid Dance. We will be going much deeper into this, and I have created a way to work with people live and do a much deeper experience. We'll be starting that in September. For those of you already registered in the Mind Your Body program, you'll be invited in for the live component of this. And we'll begin sharing the link for the Mind Your Body program. I'm going to do a whole bonus call with that that's about releasing the empath struggle. Empath is like, I'm so energy sensitive. I'm picking up on everyone else's energy. It's not okay to feel into what I feel. I've got to suppress it. Releasing the empath struggle and embracing the true power of being highly sensitive. Just that idea of being highly sensitive, people think of it as a weakness, like I shouldn't be so sensitive. And then they think they should go back into that embodiment of suppression, like I got it all managed, I'm good, I'm positive, I got it together. Not realizing like everything's falling apart. And it's only a matter of time until it overwhelms you. But to truly surrender and release and live in that liquidity, that fluidity of letting your expression be lived, that is 100% what heals the body. Every known disease we've ever seen in our medical, system, it is what allows us to come into relationships that are aligned for us and like support us in our joy. It is exactly what allows us to live in true wealth, which wealth is not just about the money and the external. It's so much an internal experience that then allows us to receive all of it. And it's so much, if you're in an expression in life where you're like, I really hate my job, but I have to do this, it opens all of that up to things you'd never have considered possible before. So when we're willing to be sensitive, but sensual, that we actually welcome it, instead of being this like, oh, I'm an empath, and it's kind of like I'm victimized by this oversensitivity. Someone posted a video in the MindBody community last week about the struggle of the empath. And I was like, oh, this guy's like taking on everyone's energy, and he's getting heavier through the day. And he goes home at the end of the day and kind of like releases it all with his dog. And because he loves his dog, there's love, and it clears him. But we don't need to experience our days like that as highly sensitive beings. We can absolutely experience the power in that, because if you're highly sensitive, it's because you're highly aware. So for me, it allows me to function in so much more abundance, because I can always be aware of what will create the most right now. What choice will bring the most expansion for my family, for my money, for my business, for my body. Instead of living from the head and not being sensual, not sensing, living from the head where it's like, let me read the next book about what should I eat and what should I do and how should I exercise and what foods should I avoid. And it's all in the head, because it's all in conclusion, and your body will follow. Your body will get inflamed with these quote unquote bad foods, and then like, oh, I gotta be so restrictive, I can't eat those foods, I have to only eat these foods. And then you're like in this hamster wheel of never ending restriction. All right, I had a comment here. Oh, thank you. Randy says, fun to see you on YouTube. Hi from Quebec, Canada. Yes, suppressed energy causes disease. By not living in my truth, letting others tell me, oops, it went away. Where'd you go? Letting others tell me what I was, and causing me to hold on to shame, guilt, I developed a skin disease that just increases those feelings. Yeah, because the physical, and I actually just did a private session with someone who's had this skin disease, and it was the same thing. It's like the more she has suppressed, because it's energy, your physical body has to find a way to work it out. And it will do that. The most superficial way is through the skin, like just expressing toxicity. So eczema, she's having vitiligo, which is like patchy white spots, loss of melanin in the skin. Also psoriasis, other inflammatory skin conditions. But it goes deeper. So then if it can't express through the skin, it's going to go to the gut. And then there's like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, or just like food intolerances where your body gets really inflamed when you eat. That's like the next level where your body's trying to work out the energy. And then your nervous system, your immune system, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper to create like the signals so that you can awaken and see, wait a minute, I don't need to do it this way. Let me allow this awakening. Let me allow this to awaken me, instead of making that illness wrong and bad and trying to suppress it. The Den says, I've been abused. I've tried to suppress even my sexuality. That's a huge thing. And most of what we're suppressing is because in some way there's been, like, we haven't been in a space where we've been fully loved. Okay. Anne says, hi from Phoenix, Arizona. First time listening. Love this. Thank you. Oh. Well, I will be broadcasting every week now. We'll be coming back. So the main piece that I think is like the magic of our bodies is that when we're willing to sense and just be present and feel, doesn't even mean you have to like find this magical dance expression. But movement does help. Just kind of find some flow, feel the music, feel the space beyond your body. But to feel what you're feeling in your body willingly allows so much to release that you don't even know you've held. It's a lot of times people will say, but I am feeling it. I'm in pain all the time. But it's not, I'm feeling it and inviting, like I'm saying yes to it, getting curious, feeling it more fully. The MindBody Solution for Pain Release program is really, really beautiful. Some beautiful exercises to go into that to let pain release. But being willing to feel it is completely different from I'm feeling it all the time, but no, I don't want to feel this. Okay, sorry, someone said, is there a difference between being a highly sensitive person and being an empath? Yes. Well, in the terminology, no, because a lot of the literature out there about the highly sensitive person is still in this like suppression mentality, like, oh God, I'm highly sensitive. How do I cope with this? But in my languaging, when we experience being so awakened and aware as empathic, It's like I'm so aware, but I'm taking it all on. I'm so aware, but it feels so heavy to feel what I feel. And so we become burdened by that sensitivity. In my practice of celebrating my sensitivity and allowing myself to be aware as a divine gift, I experience it as an unthinkable gift. I experience it as an unthinkable gift. I can celebrate it, and then I can let it serve me. So like I was saying, making choices, what will really contribute to me. There was a recent experience I had. I was invited to possibly speak at this particular event. And the more I felt into it, it was like, oh God, it just doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel fluid. I had a lot of resistance. So I'm like, am I just resisting because I'm afraid, or like, is this really not a fit? And I felt into the quality of this particular group. And it was like, Kim, are you willing to just know what you know? Because the mind was like, it'd be such a good opportunity, and I should really do this, and I should really try to make this happen. Yeah, but what will this really create? So I can feel into, what will this create for me to go down this path and do this, speaker application? And it was like, so I can honor that, and it saves me, I don't know, months of energy I would have put into that. And then I can just, that's energy that I have available to invest in things that will really contribute to me. So my big difference is moving beyond the victim of feeling all these energies, but like being bombarded by them and having them feel really heavy and hold me down, versus being willing to be aware of all of it, just from pure awareness. So it's not heavy, it's not right or wrong or good or bad. It's just awareness. So that is a huge difference. One helps you tap into your superpower. And if you are, for those of you, I want to share again, if you do want to go live in this live group that I'll be doing, I would love to have you come in there if this is of interest to you. It's at drkimd.com MYB, and we'll be doing a 6-week deep exploration through this mind-body connection and your superpowers. But I will be doing this particular live call on releasing the empath and embracing your true power as a highly sensitive being. Just that alone, that one call, 100% is worth the investment. But there'll be other awesome things in the program as well, if you'd like to come into that 6-week program. But I'm super excited about this bonus call that I'll be doing in there. All right, wait, I've got some more comments. Sorry about that. Come on. So there's, for me, a huge difference between being highly sensitive versus just I'm empathic, and how most people experience that. There isn't a big difference in, like I said, a lot of the literature and books out there about being highly sensitive and like, oh, here's how to deal with it. Okay, Ray says, sometimes when I have that negative energy like you described, I have to just be careful not to blame myself and just say it's my own problem. Yes, the empathic space has us like identify with it, like this is my heaviness or what's wrong with me. But a lot of people who think I'm highly sensitive see it as a wrongness or a weakness as well, something that needs to be changed or fixed. And is Reiki a good addition for moving energy? Yes, and it's really practitioner dependent. If you're working with someone in any modality, EFT tapping or anything, who is, because even if it's medication, who is truly in their heart and willing to be in that, because when we're in our heart, we're in a communication of unity. We're in a deeper connection with the other person. So we can serve them from a deeper space. But if someone's just in their head, like, I'm going to do this Reiki thing and it's going to have all these effects and it's going to be really good and we'll get rid of your problems, it is not the same thing. And it has a lot to do with the frequency you're in when you're choosing a practitioner. When I'm in fear of like, oh my God, this is not okay, I've got to get rid of this. I'm going to go and I'm going to resonate with all the people who are like, I have your problem, but aren't actually functioning at a high enough frequency where it can make a difference. Until we embrace our fear, we can't receive resources to assist us in moving beyond it. Until we embrace our fear, we can't really choose beyond it. We've got to actually be willing to like sense, be sensual. Wow, there's a lot of fear. Breathe in, breathe out, be willing to feel what we feel. And that alone shifts us from reacting to the fear and allows us to choose from what we know. So big difference. And you automatically kind of resonate with practitioners that can contribute to you. Like it won't even get your attention. All the other hypey things that are like, that's not really for me. Courtney says, I heard you mention yesterday the woman who watched your video and just imagined herself dancing. And I'm so excited to try that out since I'm not able to physically dance yet. Thank you. So I'm sending this out tomorrow in an email. If you're at drkimd.com and subscribe, you'll receive the emails from me. This was huge. It's a huge thing about the mirror neuron effect. How even if you're just viewing someone being in that full fluid expression of self, whether it's, when I'm doing my dancing, or it's another person that you really admire that just makes you feel a sense of serenity, when you view that person who's in their own empowerment, it creates huge shifts and changes in your physical body. Huge shifts and changes in your brain activity, and huge shifts and changes in what's happening cellularly. Amazing. And it even changes your DNA expression, like just that mirror neuron effect. So the mirror neurons are like the parts of the brain and the sensory system that are paying attention to what you're seeing mirrored in that other person. So if you see a person angry and beating someone up and killing someone and like, it triggers a different response in your body. It will contract you. If you're watching someone move in joyful sensuality and fluidity, it will immediately shift what's happening in you. And that's why this woman in a wheelchair told me all the tension in her body completely released. And then another woman a couple of days later, I've been bedridden since 2014. And I viewed the video and felt powerful shifts in my body and started crying and felt the energy move. So I had invited people, hey, even if you can't do the physical dance, consider receiving this work. And I'm glad people took me up on it because it was amazing. Kate says, I haven't done a ton of dancing in recent years, but I'm definitely healing myself by feeling all of the sensations in my body. Excited to add in more dance. Yes, beautiful. Bianca says, so excited for this topic. I've been diving a lot into learning and sensuality in the past year, especially becoming a mom. Awesome. Yeah. And sensuality will guide you into a different awareness than stuff you might learn about. Like you're going to learn, this person taught me these 5 tips and that was really cool. But what you're actually integrating is the frequency of that person. So if you watch someone like Byron Katie is a healer of sorts, and she really lives in this beautiful place of serenity. She shares really simple work called The Work of Byron Katie, and it will assist you so much in unwinding things. But it's because she's grounded and anchored into neutrality, pure love, that she's so powerful and her work is so powerful. So what your system integrates and what you might learn with your head are not always the same thing. If you were to learn like even the work of Byron Katie from some person who's maybe not anchored into that level of depth, but is teaching you this cool tool, and you should do this tool, and here you go, and here's what can happen. And then you do that thing, it's not going to create the same results because of this mirror neuron effect. So it's super, super a beautiful gift because you don't have to learn a ton of stuff. You can just tune into music that is, music you love, or other people who are in a frequency that you're like, that's what I'm going to have. I'd like to have what she's having. Something about her or him is an aspect of myself that I'd like to step into more fully. It will automatically open your system because of that mirror neuron effect. Melanie says, now here, I had a huge chunk of stuff come up this morning. Super intense and uncomfortable and scary. Super tight neck and head. I went to the pain release program and did the healing there, plus EFT. I know very clearly what I had suppressed for many years. The not enough around music, which was my first love. So much self-judgment. I do feel 2% better. Good, that's the opening. That's the initial opening that will open you more and more. Okay. And Amy, I noticed that I feel so much resistance to snapping out of, quote, mom mode. Oh, geez. Thinking about sensuality feels like I'd have to take on a different persona, and that it's bringing up shame and guilt for me. I could do a whole program just on this. When we parent outside of our sensuality, our kids cannot feel our love for them. When we parent outside of our sensuality, our kids can't really feel our love. And so we parent from like this role of, here's what I should do, and here's what you should do, and here's what we got to do. And then you're working really, really hard to keep it together. And you'll find, it will always be more work, but you will find unthinkable things. If you even just give yourself a self-massage once a day, that's a lot for you, I know, but 5 minutes or 10 minutes, do 10 minutes, Amy, at least for the first couple of weeks. This will change your life profoundly because it will connect you with yourself, and you'll parent from that space. And when you parent from being connected with sensuality, everything is easier. Stuff happens for you. Your kids feel you. And so you don't have to tell them what to do. You don't have to tell them how to be. They will learn from you being connected with you. Very, very powerful. So let me know how that goes. Okay. What else do we have? Jessica, thanks for sharing that link. MK says, okay, yeah, I'm doing this too. Bedridden and I'm still watching, and the dancing is so powerful. Beautiful. Roma says, I can see this working really for women because we are naturally sensual beings. How would men connect to this sensuality? Oh, that's such a good question. We're actually going to go a lot more into this in the Mind Your Body program, the 6-week live that we'll be doing in September and October. And Mario, my husband, is going to be co-hosting that program with me. And we are really going to get a lot more into the masculine and feminine energies we hold as individuals, and the men, women, different perspectives, and how to really begin to embrace ourselves more deeply. Hi, Coralie. Randy, I used to dance like that for a long time. I'm starting to use sensuality more for everyday things, like how to navigate finding a new job. Yes! I had one of my friends, so I used to do the liquid dance. Each month we'd have a group and I'd host it, and we're starting back up again in September. And she's a mom, and she's working full time, and she said, oh my God, like I don't let myself be in this space in my work because it felt like it was wrong. Like it's almost like being sexual in an inappropriate way. And yeah, we've really tied sensuality into sexuality, but it isn't the same thing. And she learned like, oh my God, I can really allow my sensuality to be ignited all the time and function differently at work. So I always know what's required, and I know what's going to create the most for one of the clients I'm working with. I don't have to work so hard to figure it out, and started functioning from a very different place at work. And she's had a lot of like different health problems and things that come up, but through sensual connection, it allows more fluid connection. So we don't get sick as often because we're not suppressing and holding that energy in our body. We're allowing our body to be part of the equation of what we're doing in these other areas of our life. And especially at work, like you're going to find a huge difference in everything you do. Okay. The Den says, thank you for clarifying about the healers that might be at the same level of us on their issues. Makes me wonder. It's funny. It's not like I don't still deal with things, but I deal with them from a very, very, very different place than I used to. So being willing to meet my fear, and there was so much fear. And to the degree I was unwilling to fully meet it, it really did limit my work. And it definitely limited what I was able to receive, like money flowing effortlessly and easily finding people to connect with who want to receive what I'm doing, having harmony with my partner, my husband. So yeah, mega, mega change. So it's not like I don't still deal with things, but I'm not dealing with them from the same frequency or consciousness of where I was. And now it's night and day. Any of those people I would have been like, I should work with them. I should do their thing. They can help me. they don't even go on my radar anymore because I'm not functioning from fear. So I'm not like, I don't even see it, which is huge because I mean, it was like tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars going into things that like really did not create abundance for me. And then right around the time when I met Sylvie, really being willing to meet that space more deeply, like, okay, I surrender. What is really going to create the most for me? And then, because I wouldn't have even been able to hear Sylvie. It'd be like, yeah, that's all well and good. I'll get to that fluffy stuff later. Give me the real stuff. I wouldn't have been able to settle into it. It's like I was too busy running. But it definitely changed my life. So that's one of the most important things is like, what frequency is this person functioning from? Is embracing fear the same as relaxation? In short, yes. I feel the fear. I relax my body and breathe. Sense into it and be willing to feel it more fully. Healing repressed anger. This, I think, everything, all of the above is going to allow anger to release. Being aware of what you're feeling. Claire says, good to see you here live today on YouTube. Thank you for the words and good energy. Claire, I don't resonate with Byron Katie. That's okay. I prefer tapping and meditation and massage and flowing and clearing the old energy from the body. This is what keeps me calm and energized and connected. Thank you. Yeah, Byron Katie for me it's cleared a ton of energy and sometimes really quick. But you got to tune into like what's really resonating for you. There's no right or wrong, but there are people who are doing really beautiful work who are functioning from a deeper space because of their willingness to meet who they are more fully. All right, we are going to be completing. I'll be here every week at 11 a.m. Mountain. I will definitely you can sign up early for the Mind Your Body, but we're starting in like 2 weeks, I think. I'll be sharing more about that over the next couple of weeks, about what that program will be about. But if you know you're ready, you can certainly register now. It's at drkimd.com/MYB. We'll have 3 live calls, plus that bonus call I mentioned about really moving beyond experiencing like sensitivity as an empath versus experiencing it as a gift. Roma says, Mario will be giving, this is such a good idea. Mario will be giving input. He truly has enlightened all of us at the retreat and was such a huge contribution. Well, that's the main inspiration. Before that, we decided that day, like, whoa, this is really powerful. We've got to do this. Peter Black says, vibrant colors and energy. Oh. He says, I just logged in after a call with Sylvie. I must say that is a super cool dress you're wearing. Thank you. Oh. Okay, hold on one more. Melanie, I saw some programs the other day and paused in my mind and said, nope, you don't need that. Yeah, you'll see stuff that maybe still catches your attention. Feel into your heart. Will this contribute to me? And you'll immediately know. Feel into like, just make serenity. Feel serenity. If I'm in my total serenity, is this something I would choose? Is this going to expand my serenity? And you'll feel that dissonance. Like, nope, if I'm feeling my serenity, I can just let that go. Awesome. Everyone, I'm sending you so much love. And I love getting to do this. The Dem says, thank you for clarifying that. Yes, there's no one size fits all. Yeah, exactly. That's why it is essential that you are a sensually alive being because, hey, what am I going to eat today? What am I going to do? Am I going to ride on a hard mountain bike ride and get some hardcore exercise? Or am I going to take a nap or just do some like slow movement and yoga? What's going to fill me and fuel me the most? Because the mind has so many ideas about that really, not only it's not one size fits all for each person, but for even one person in any given minute, it could change. Like I'm going to have some, mashed potatoes or French fries and like really grounding foods versus I'm going to eat raw salad. It's a completely different energy. And you will not know that no matter how many books you read until you are willing to sense into your magical miracle body and receive awareness. So thank you for tuning in. I'd love to see you again next week. And also to everyone who's listening to the recording, I'm at drkimd.com. If you have not subscribed there, there's a quiz on the front page that you can take to get some guidance around like what will open the most for me? What is it that's holding me back more specifically that will really create the most? And then some resources I'll walk you through from there. There's also lots of great resources on the page. All right, everyone. Sending you so much love. I hope that we all have an incredible day. Bye.